Welcome back, everyone. Sunday Night Teacher Talk, and it's Sunday. It is 71 degrees right now I'm not trying to flex here, but 71 degrees in New Mexico. It is like 11 degrees in Philadelphia. And I posted something the other day that was like, me and my students, we read outside the day before we did sidewalk chalk outside. And Audrey from Gloucester hit me up and she was like, yeah, if only we didn't get 9.5 inches of snow and it wasn't 7 degrees outside. And I said, fair enough. So there's a lot of things I miss about back east. The weather is not one of them. I'll take New Mexico weather, even with the wind that we're about to get, which wreaked havoc on my hair going to church today.
It's like flying dirt.
Yeah, the flying dirt I can do without, but
when it's super windy here, there's flying dirt. You can like see it. The whole sky turns like orange. Makes me not even want to breathe outside.
No, it's like dirt storms are real. It's like Mad Max. That's what it makes it feel like. So we are, we're in this particular time of year where it's February, and it's one of those times. I make fun of this a lot, where there's like people like to have different funks. I was talking to Shivy about this one time. He's like, it's like February funk. And I'm like, bro, everybody wants to have it's like back to school funk. It's like,
right.
It's the holiday, like Christmas break funk. It's the spring break funk. It's end of the year funk. I'm like, bro, stop being so funky. Like, let's just figure it out. So but I feel this, right? I feel like I'm teaching right now too many different things in different classes, and there's some overlap, but like not enough. So I typically try and have my classes overlap. So like one trick that I do that no one knows is that I teach the same vocabulary in every single class, because I don't make it like too book specific, but if it has to be, I'm like, this word works for this book too. It just like isn't getting used in it, but it's still an important word to know. And so that's been not happening enough. And when I teach about, like, I'm at such a small school that some of the teachers will teach 5 and 6 classes a day of different stuff.
That's so much.
And that's crazy to me. So yeah, but it's also a lot time of the year where you're hearing things like people aren't coming back next year. We just found out that our superintendent is retiring at the end of the year. And so what's that going to look like? So it's that sort of like layer of uncertainty that like starts bringing all kinds of madness into the school year and stuff too. So, but with that, I mean, my word is joy this year, and I'm really trying to live into that. So it's like finding joy in those moments at school, listening, hearing a kid tell his friend, yo, today was fun. That was fun. I liked doing that. It's doing if y'all haven't seen, I'm going to put on YouTube. I think I'm going to put on YouTube either tonight or tomorrow morning, a short that is the bring a random object to school challenge, whatever the heck it's called. And my 10th graders did it, and they were hilarious, man. My 11th graders, they did a good shot. I feel like they tried.
I thought there were some funny things in there.
There were. I mean, it wasn't the objects that were funny. I think it was the reactions of the 10th graders. And that was really hilarious. So yeah, so it's definitely worth checking out. I'm trying to just find those little moments of bringing joy to the classroom. And that's that. Let's jump in, and then I'll talk about 2 more things later.
Okie dokie. Ruth, thank you very much for your super chat.
Hey, Ruth, thanks.
Every week you do that, and that's so lovely, and we appreciate it. Mallory is up first, asking, she's a 3-part question. First part is, found out this past week due to low enrollment, I will not have a teaching position next year.
What?
I was so devastated because this was my dream school. I'm expecting baby number 2 in September. After talking with my husband, we decided it will be best if I stay home next year to be with our new baby. While I am happy for this opportunity, it's hard for me to wrap my brain around not being in the classroom after 16 years. Any tips on emotionally navigating this change? Also, thank you to everyone with your encouragement.
Can you talk real quick about, I mean, I could talk about it, but I'm really just going to be paraphrasing you with regards to the like, I just feel like there was so much of that Brody got of you being our first child, and Marley had to like struggle to get her time, and Brody navigating that time too. Like Brody,
there's just a difference. There's a shift. I feel like there's, even though it's your second baby, you're learning how to be a mom to two kids versus one kid. Being a mom to one is very different than being a mom to two. And so, yes, there is some of that. Like your first baby, you get to like spend all the time with. I mean, if you're working, it's still split with work, but like when you're with them, they get all of you, right? When you're with the kids and you have two, you have to split. Like they don't get all of you. So I always felt like my second kind of got a little gypped just because they didn't get nearly as much of me, like that full concentrated momness. I mean, they did when it was just us and Birdie was napping or Birdie was with you or something like that. Yeah. But I was always split between two. So there is a new learning curve between being a mom to one and a mom to multiple.
So with that, I think I would say this. Here's what I've thought about quite a bit, Mallory. I mean, you're not really asking for parenting advice here, and I will talk about the teaching thing, but I just think this is worth mentioning. Folks, there's certain times where, especially when you have little ones or you have family things going on, or that we prioritize work as teachers so much, and no one's going to fault you for it. Everyone's going to pat you on the back that you gave it all for the kids. But at the end of the day, my own children, I only get to see grow up once. Every year I get a new group of freshmen. Every year I get a new class of kids that are like, it's like Sisyphus' rock. They just like roll back to the old age, and then I got to start all over again to get to them to where they need to be. Every year that happens. So to me, it's really, really leaning into that and trying to be present, because it really doesn't last very long. I mean, Mallory, you already have one kid. You know how fast that this goes. But that could go for even people that don't have kids, right? It could be your niece or nephew. It could be your spouse. They get older and they can't do as much fun stuff because their elbow hurts all the time or something. No, like
my elbow does not hurt.
It's really just kind of sitting with that. I think the other thing, I mean, depending on your capacity next year, because I found that like having kids meant a lot of sitting around. Like it was either like you were like up and trying to make sure no one was putting something in an electrical socket, or it was a lot more like they're napping, be quiet and sit down.
Or my kids always went to bed early. Yeah. So it was like by 7:30, 8 o'clock, we were like, okay, the day is, I'm just stuck in the house now.
And I use that for dreaming and scheming. I'm like thinking about how this is the time. Like as a teacher, you always want that extra time to like do something, to plan something out, to organize your Google Drive. Like I would think, I mean, this is where my head goes, is like, if I have that time where I have a couple hours a day where I need to just be quiet so that someone can take a nap or whatever, or if someone's nursing and I am just on my phone, like, can I organize stuff? Can I categorize stuff? Can I dream up and plan up new ideas and things like that? And then I can only say this. I won't try and make this too woo-woo, but when I started in Camden, I thought that was where I was going to be for the rest of my life. I then went to Philly and realized, no, this is where I'm supposed to be for the rest of my life. I'm now in New Mexico, and I don't necessarily know that this is where I'll be for the rest of my life. God hasn't revealed that to me yet. But what I do know is, no, this is where I'm supposed to be right now. Every single time, even though Camden was in many ways, like what I thought was a dream scenario, so was Philly. New Mexico is like, this is where I'm supposed to be right now, man. And you will one day get a job at another school, and in the first 2 days, you're going to know, or the first day, you'll meet kids and know, this is why I'm here. This is why I'm here in this season. And just works. So, yeah.
Do you have any tips for her on the emotionally navigating? Because you know what it was like when you stopped teaching and
You feel that
first year when everybody is going back and all that's happening on social media that you see, or other teachers or colleagues that like are getting ready to go back to school and you're not. There's a little bit of
the first year I didn't.
Relief and a little bit of
there's a little bit of relief. Your pocketbook feels a little bit more full. And does anyone say pocketbook anymore?
I don't think so.
I think I just said that.
Yeah. Take that
pocketbook.
back.
Yeah, your purse, your money clip feels a little fuller. But
I people feel less full. You're not having a paycheck.
I found that what I tried to do was help more people. Like I knew people needed help. Like, can I help you with, I don't know, just try and find ways to be of use. So I think like if I even didn't go back to the school next year, like something happens, right? I can't go back to the school next year. I know enough people. I'd be up there with Lauren Bryan being like, let me help you take your stuff into your classroom. Let me help you clean up.
Yeah, but all right, from a mom's point of view, like that's not what she's doing. She's about to have a baby, like entering into number 2. Like that's not a possibility for her to think about, but like or do. To me, it's naming the emotions and letting yourself feel them, and then look at the other side of things. How grateful you are for being able to be home, even if it's a financial struggle. Like we know that world. Like I stayed home for a long time and that was a financial struggle in that decision, but I got to stay home with my kids. I got to care for them. I got to teach them. Like I plastered letters all over our floor for Brody to learn. This is before I knew he was dyslexic. Like we did all kinds of learning activities, tons of reading. Like there's so much joy in that. Like you can still feel sorrow for not being like you said, it was a dream school that you were at, that the way you lost your job, like it wasn't just a decision to stay home with your kids, but due to low enrollment. It's like, allow yourself some grace to feel those things. Remember that hormones are doing what they're doing because you're having a baby or you're about to have a baby or you just had the baby. Like allow yourself to feel those, but also feel joy to be able to be home and be with your kids.
That was a better answer than mine.
You're welcome.
Okay. Answer the next question now.
No. Well, if it's directly
you love
teaching,
talking on the internet.
I do. I love that you roped me in after like 10 years. Okay.
That was the third part.
Yeah. Up next is Ruth. Ruth is asking.
Who was it?
Ruth.
Wait. No, that's not how you said it.
Ruth.
Okay, go.
Self-care is important. What are your thoughts about taking a mental health day? Question 2, my concerns are how can making sub plans and not grading during that time away help mental health?
All right. So, gosh.
Part 3, she says, concerned because I need rest.
All right, Ruth, this is not going to be a popular answer among students or staff, but I'm going to say it anyway. 1, I think sick days are there. Most schools, they just disappear at the end of the year. Use them. Like use as many as you want to use, as long as you are not cheating your students or cheating yourself. So sometimes like, you know what I'm talking about, like somebody's, you'll take off and then you have more work to do. That's what you're talking about with the grading too. You have more work to do when you come back. Then it was like, dude, was this even, I'll say this. Sometimes it's worth going to school sick because it's less work, because coming up with sub plans is a nightmare also. So, but I love my man, John Lopez. I love when Lopez goes on a sick day. He calls it, he called it the intentional flu. And then he always sends me pictures of the cocktail he's having and whatever delicious food at whatever delicious restaurant that he's at, right? Like John doesn't just take a day off and like lay on the couch. Lopez like goes out and he's like, let's like live a little bit. You know what I mean?
I love that. That is what you should do on those
I think it's
days.
awesome.
Yeah.
And so to me, this is one of those things where ChatGPT comes in so handy. Chat, I need a lesson plan for tomorrow that's self-contained, that like, here's what we've been working on in school. Here's where my students are. I need a reading selection. I need questions. I need a short answer at the end, whatever it is, a drawing part, make it into a comic book, whatever it is that you want to do. And then I don't want to have heavy lifting or grading when I come back. Sometimes here's the part people don't like. I just grade stuff. If it looks like you did it, you did it. I'm not grading some stuff on its completion. You still learned. But if I need a break, the last thing I need is to be doing a ton of grading. And here's the thing about that, right? For people that push back against that. I give so many grades in every category that by the end of the quarter, that one little assignment isn't really counting for very much, right? It's like it is a blip in the midst of all the stuff we've done. We're learning not just for grades, we're learning to learn. And so as long as I'm creating something that's meaningful, creating something that means the sub doesn't have to do anything, creating something with the students know that I'm giving this to you at the beginning of the period, it's due by the end of the period, and they can't just look it up on AI, then it's a win for everyone. I and if you can, I mean, my students, I'm going to be out 2 days this week. I am giving a reading assignment and a study hall because my son's class is so burdened with work and homework all the time. I'm like, if I know Brody will use that whole period to just get caught up on homework so he doesn't have to do it that night.
And so will the other girls.
Yeah. So it's giving them that time if they have it, right? And then just jumping back in full force when you come back, like using that energy. But it is, yes, taking mental health days is important. Yes, use AI or even go on TPT and buy something. And then the next day you can make something so that you don't have to grade a whole bunch of stuff too. And so
she did say that in the comments that her concern was like admin wants them working the full 90 minutes of the class period. Yeah. So that's a concern, is like having something to fill that class period.
You can't exactly do that because when you're not there, you can create work for the 90 minutes, but you don't know what's going to take someone 90 minutes, especially when they're just doing it by themselves. You have no idea how long something is going to take them to do. So you do the best you can and then let them know, hey, use the end of the period as a study hall. It's really going to be up to the sub, right? It's like, how well does the sub run the class? Grab a book, read your book at the end of the period. Whatever it is, like that, have some options, but know that ultimately when you're not there, you're not responsible. Your job is to give the work on time, make sure that the sub, I don't like when subs have to teach anything. And then I will often email a student and be like, yo, can you just clean my room up at the end of the day? Like I'll pay in chocolate or something like that. I got to get M&Ms for somebody's birthday too, by the way. Okay. So, that's how I would
prepare your mental health. Like if you're out for specifically, you're like, no, I need a rest and I need to take a mental health day. I think setting it up on the front end, so it doesn't become a workload for you. Is wise. But I love mental health days.
Can you pull that down and pull up my picture right now? Because this is a good word when I say it. This is a good time for a word from our sponsor, which is Teacher Class Off. I have finally, after 10 years almost, started making resources. So I'm not making a resource of every single thing I've ever taught. That's not the plan as of right now. My plan is to make a library of lessons so folks can see how I teach stuff. Now this of course is it's the plan, but it's it's like giving you the song, but how I play the song might be a little bit different than how you play the song. They're supposed to be simplified. They're self-contained. So the first thing I did in honor of Black History Month was Thank You Ma'am by Langston Hughes, which is one of my favorite Langston Hughes stories. If you've not read it before, it'll take you no, we did that really well. Should we just go like this? So what we did was made it so that it's set it and forget it. It's completely done for you. You can do it digitally. You can print it out. And we're making these they're not very expensive at all. So we're going to do a bunch of short stories first before we start moving into novels and stuff like that. But if you get it, great. Let me know. It's right on the store on shopteacherclassoff.com. And if you do get it and you find look, man, I'm getting started at this, right? I've never sold. I mean, I sold a little bit, but not really sold lessons like this before. Please let me know if there's something that you're oh man, you really you should add this or change this or do this, or I like this. Please shoot me an email. If you're one of the homies that is down with the channel and you've been watching this for a long time, please shoot me an email and let me know if that's good, because it's something that I want to make. The goal in this is to help teachers that if you need a mental health day, if you just need to not plan, you just want to roll out a lesson from a trusted source that you've been watching for years. that, and you want to just, you need a day, that's what it's there for. So that's there. It's in the store right now, and that's that.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Tina. We want to shout out. Thank you for your super chat.
Hey, all right. Thanks, Tina. I appreciate it.
And Tina has a question, so we'll answer that one next.
Yeah.
Asking, I teach high school science at a therapeutic day school. All students have IEPs. Done this a long time, but struggling this year. Program is expanding, so taking all referrals. Have students reading 8+ years below. Finding it hard to teach high school science courses at such a low level and mixed with near grade level. Tons of behaviors also. Any helpful ideas would be appreciated. That is a wide range. And from being so far below to on grade level, how do you teach? I break them into groups. I don't even know.
All right. So I'm trying to, sometimes these questions are so big that I'm like, what are my 3 points that I'm going to make here, and not 7 points and go on for 15 minutes. But like, Tina, I think one, of course you're seeing behaviors, because these are kids that have been, I'm going to say it like this. I don't care what school they went to. I don't care what kind of services they got. When you show up 8 levels below where you're supposed to be, you have been underserved by your school. Your district has failed you. And so now you have kids that are like, I ain't learning. I don't learn ever. Like, I suck at school all the time, or like, and so and I don't know how long you've been doing this, but just worth mentioning, even if you've been in it for a long time, because someone else might feel this way too. I erroneously thought when I first started teaching, I actually have a part in my book about this where it's like letter to a first year teacher or something like that. I erroneously thought that when I first started teaching, that if I just, like, the kids have been waiting for a teacher like me. They've been waiting for someone that wants to teach, that's excited about it, that believes in you, and that thinks you're going to do it. And what I didn't realize was that razzmatazz has been here before, and then it fizzles out. So because kids were waiting to see, like, if I was really about it, if I was going to be a person of integrity. So I think, first of all, it's like identifying that, and like identifying where kids have come from. And sometimes I have those conversations. Listen, y'all, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I had students that, like, Kev comes to mind, where Kev was like severely below grade level. He needed an IEP his whole life, but he was at Catholic schools and they don't do IEPs. And so he just never got the services that he needed. And I remember his mom cried during his first IEP meeting. And with Kev, it was like, I remember we had to have like the most real conversation that child ever had, where it was like, listen, you think you're up here, bro. You're down here. And that's not your fault, but it's your fault if you stay there now, because it was me and Yonk sat him down, and I was like, I'm ready to pour into you. But if your cup has a hole at the bottom of it, I can't, what am I going to do? Like, it's just going to leak out. So like, let's get to work. But then I had to prove it. And so what I think is trying to really figure out where your students are and where you need them to go. And it's not about getting them there. I think this is I know that sounds blasphemous, when your students are so low. I'd have kids come into my 9th grade literature class on a kindergarten to 2nd grade reading level, and the school's like waiting for me to get them to 9th grade. Bro, get the hell out of it. Like, you can grow maybe 2 grade levels, in my experience, in reading in a year. So what I did was I had to scrap my curriculum. I'm still reading the Odyssey because that's what everyone's reading, but can I get it as an audiobook? Can I get it as a graphic novel? Can I get it as a book that's like really written for like 4th grade level reading, right? I would look at like the Lexile level. Can I get it as a play? And we're all going to read it together. So it's trying all of these different things to try and take kids from where they are and moving them upward. That's what I want. I have no goal of like, I'm going to get you to here. It's how do I get you there? So I'm thinking about science. It's instead of and look, I don't teach science, but I'm going to offer it this way. If I'm thinking about how do I get my kids to become scientists instead of kids that are in a science class, that feels like possibly semantics, but it feels like a mind shift to me. Can I show you? Can I like science is incredibly exciting. Like when I watch YouTube channels like Mark Rober and he's standing on top of a train talking about physics, it's like makes me want to watch, right? And so how do I tap into that? How do I create a hook for my kids? How do I have a mini lesson or a mini objective that I'm going to do? How do I do an experiment or an experience that's going to help kids to get excited, to lock in, to realize they can learn something? And then what's the output of that? What if I pare it down so much and ask myself the eternal question that I ask before every lesson plan? What if this was easy? We often overcomplicate lessons so they fill a class period. Instead, what if I took this concept and instead of making it the most insanely impossible thing ever, how do I make that interesting? And then I start thinking and dreaming about ways in which I can do that. So what I would say is also, as a science teacher, my friend Becky Schnexer has a book called Expedition Science. It is the best science book I've ever read book for science teachers. She is remarkable. And she's one of those people that like I wish made more resources. Like she's someone that I want to host on our site at some point. Like it's like, give me your resources. I'll make them cool. Like I'll like so they look nice, and then we'll just put them out on the site because it's so good. But it is that's where I would start. And when you're thinking about that, it is not trying to overhaul everything that you do, right? That's too overwhelming. It's how can I, maybe you just start with hooks. How can I drop something on my kids the day before? And maybe it's a little experiment. Maybe it's a tiny video. Maybe it's a question that's thoughtful. Maybe it's y'all, let me just tell you this right now. You do not want to be late for class tomorrow. What we're going to do, I can't even tell. I can't even talk about it right now. It's ridiculous. And I'm just saying something might explode. And then bell rings, we're out. And then watch kids show up. They will ask you in the hallway, what's going on? They get excited about this kind of stuff. And so then they come into class and it's like, you're ready. Like, how can I lean into some of that stuff to get kids excited about what we're doing? And it only takes these little bits of time, right? And then, so it's like, maybe you don't do an experiment every day, but it's like, can I do something cool what's a cool thing I can do each week, right?
I feel like there's tons of YouTube videos also that like explain.
Yes. And I would look at.
I would look into those.
Yeah, I would. It's like taking ideas from people that are doing good work is, I think of it as not stealing, it's remixing. I'm teaching, to mention my book again, like there's a chapter called Read Like a DJ or Teach Like a DJ. And it's about like taking what other people do and then creating a remix, right? Like in hip hop culture, folks didn't make their own music back in the day. They took records that already existed and figured out a way that they were going to remix it to make something new out of it. And so how are you going to remix so your classroom comes alive? So that's my handful of thoughts that I have on that I think could
how do you deal with the behavioral issues? So when you have kids at such a low level, I mean, you've done this because you've been in those classrooms. Give a couple tips on how she can help, because I think of like you have to have incredibly clear policies, procedures, routines of your classroom and stick to them.
But that doesn't look rigid. It looks like rhythms. It is, I'm greeting my kids every single day. When they come in, they know exactly what they're doing. Here's the do now, and they have 5 minutes. This is what transitions look like. They know that if you act out or if you talk when I'm talking or whatever it is, these are the next set of repercussions. That's like in my class, it's three strikes and you're out. But it's a little hard to explain right
nuanced
now. But like in the classroom management blueprint that we sell on the thing too, it's like walks through all these kind of scripts. That's why we created it. But it is creating those things. But I would say that with relationships comes understanding. So when you start building relationships with students, you really begin to understand where they're coming from and why they're acting the way that they act. And that changes the way that you think about kids. And so, I think that having a class that kids want to come to is not just about doing cool stuff. It's about creating, and I know this is an overused term, creating a safe space for kids to learn. And what does that mean? It means you can show up as you. You can show up as 8 grade levels below. You can show up as you have anxiety. You can show up as Captain ADHD. But when you're here, we accept you the way that you are. But know that the unwritten agreement here is that when you show up, we're learning. I'm trying to help you grow into who God created you to be, bro. Like this work's not cute. This is the most meaningful thing I can do in my day, right? Besides raise my own children. It's like, that is the work. And so I don't play with this stuff. So it is important to me. And when the kids understand where I'm coming from, when they see that's why I'm trying to make things cool and interesting and fun and a little bit mind blowing, when I'm building those relationships, so I'm understanding where kids are coming from, and that, like the John Maxwell adage, right? No one cares what you know until they know that you care. I am living and breathing that as much as possible. And that's where it starts anyway.
I'd say the other thing is that for that building relationship piece, because I feel like that's a question that always comes up. It's like, well, how do you really build relationships? It's right that we often get asked. And I think it's having that, the simplest way is having that intake form, whether you get it from us or you make up your own, but it's like, find out what your students, that's how you find out what they're interested in. It's like, ask them what their YouTubers are. What's their favorite music? What is your favorite movie? Why do you dislike school? Why do you like school? Like, ask these kind of interesting everything. Data questions, because that will help you build the relationships when you're building lesson plans and activities and things.
Jared's face melted the other day when I go, Jared, are you going to see Iron Lung, the movie? And he goes, what? I go, well, I know you like Markiplier, and Markiplier helped make the movie and is in the movie. Mm-hmm. Markiplier is a YouTuber that grew to 30 million, created his own movie based on a video game that he used to play on YouTube. And Jared's whole face was just like, why do you know any of this? And it's like, because I care about you. So you have to be willing to step in your kids' world of whatever it is that they're interested in, so that they will, they realize that you care. And then they will slowly but surely move into your world of education.
Yes. Good luck, Tina. That's great work that you're doing. I know it's hard, though.
Shout out to Markiplier, too. You probably watch my channel. You know what I mean? I'm sure he's just like...
Absolutely. All right. Taylor's up next asking, coming back from a big break, how would you review procedures, work from that time, and still try to stay on track with pacing?
I come back, Taylor, one, with excitement. That's my number one thing. Y'all, first of all, can I just say, I'm so stoked to be back, right? Like, I love breaks, but I love coming back and seeing all your faces. I love coming, except for yours, and then, which is a kid that I would know, right? And I'm excited to get back into this. Here's a little bit of what I did over break. What did you do over break? And now, here's what we're going to get into in this next, the coming weeks. It's dude, it's going to be sick. So we're going to, and then I run it down. We're going to not just read Lord of the Flies, but we're going to read it as a play. We're going to decorate the classroom as a jungle. We're going to have a plane crash. We're going to do all these things, right? I'm getting kids excited about what's coming up. And then I go into, all right, first thing I need y'all to do is take out your journals. And then I walk them through the systems, policies, and procedures that we've created as a class as needed. When you're putting together anything, if you're putting together a Lego set, Lego gives me they say, here's the pieces that you need. So get out the pieces you need. And then this is how you put them together. They don't give you all of them at once. That's why they number the parts when you put something together. And I think teaching should be the same way. All right, first thing you're going to do is just put your journals on your desk. Second thing you're going to do is open to the next opening page. You have 5 seconds to do that. Next thing you're going to do, you're going to put the date on the top, right? It's up here on the board. It's February, whatever. That's what you're doing. You have 4 seconds. And then you're walking them through. Then the next thing I need you to do is, here's the journal entry question. Yeah, I need it in 5 to 8 sentences, and you have this much time to do it. So I am easing kids back into it. And this is going to do a couple of things. One, it's going to keep kids on task. It's going to remind kids what they need to be doing, and it's going to help lower anxiety from students that don't remember stuff, that have a processing issue, that like feel overwhelmed coming back from break. You're walking them through it step by step. And then you do that for 2 days and it's like back at it again. And I don't ever expect that anyone remembers how to do anything. Kids have a 3-day weekend. No one remembers their locker combination, right? So, or they're like, what's the schedule? Wait, where do we go next? It's like, bro, I swear, we've been in here for 6 months. You can't even remember that you have science after my class. Like, or they'll like come late and they're like, I'm sorry, Mr. Reynolds, I'm sorry. I thought I was in math class right now. It's like, bro, we're chill. But it's walking them through that. And if there's a mistake, we just kind of smile at it and move on and let kids know, hey, listen, I know we've been out for a minute. If you need help, if you get lost, if you forget how to open your locker, come see me. Let me know, and I'll help you out with anything I can.
Okay, Lopez is up next asking, what would you do to support teachers if you were a school superintendent?
I won't say that I haven't had this conversation, even today, maybe. I would. So what are some of the things I said this morning? One, I think after 2 years of teaching, I don't know that I would collect lesson plans anymore. I would require you to have a plan for the week, but I wouldn't collect formalized lesson plans because I don't think anyone reads them. I would have way more observations, and they wouldn't just be like the same old, like sitting in the back for the whole period. The best observations I've ever gotten were like 10 minutes long. And then, so there wouldn't just be formalized observations. There'd just be like popping in and seeing what's going on. I think I would do, my homie Hamish Brewer really solidified this for me, where get out of your office. I think the worst thing a school administrator can do is sit in their office all day. Be the example, right? Don't tell teachers to be at their door in between every period, and then you're just in your office. Be out there too. Be the example. High-fiving kids, saying what's up, talking, connecting with kids, helping them get to class, helping things move, giving teachers like, yo, you good? Like popping into teachers' rooms. Are you good? Can I get you anything? Can I do anything for you? Oh, do you have to pee? Go ahead. I'll stay here with your kids for a minute.
I think some of that's different. Some superintendents aren't in the building. It depends on your school system and how big they are.
Well, then be in the building.
Oh, all right.
Like that was one of the things that, like, I love Dr. Tennant. When he moved over towards the middle school and he became like the CEO of the school, we didn't see him anymore. And I think it was to his detriment. I think like pick a day a week that you can like have a little bit. People need to see you, right? Part of that is because and I won't go too far into this, but like we gravitate towards the things we're the most familiar with. And if you're not familiar with your leadership, you're not going to go to them when you have a problem. I would really sit down with people, John, and have conversations about, like, first of all, I would offer anonymous forms to give feedback about the school to parents, students, and teachers. Anonymous forms. Bro, tell me what is on your heart. What's going on? What do I need to know? And then I would try to actually make those things come true. Make them happen, right? You are the leader. You're captaining the ship. So be the captain. Don't just manage stuff so we don't drown. Like, be the swim coach instead of the lifeguard. Like, take us on a journey to excellence. And that's where I think my mindset would start. And folks really grow when you do that stuff. And I know that because I've had that kind of leadership before.
Yeah, I think also to just add in, I think if a way that you would support teachers, you would be a yes man for them.
Yes. It's like, you want to take a class trip, you want to have a speaker, you want to do something, you need a new book, you want to whatever, like paint your room. Yeah, go ahead. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I do care, but it's like, yes, you should do that. Or as Jesse Cole from the Savannah Banana says, do yes and. So like, oh yeah, you could do that and this. Like, it's like elevate the idea whenever you get a shot.
Yeah. All right, Linda's up next asking, what is your weekend routine when you have to do lesson planning for the next week? I find myself procrastinating because I don't have enough time to recover during the weekends.
Sure. So, Linda, what I try and do
We just talked about that this morning also.
I either do it on Monday morning, but I get up very, very early, and it's the only thing I do. I have about 2.5 hours, something like that, in the morning to myself. And so part of that is praying and reading my Bible, but then so I have probably 2 hours, and I'll do it then when I'm fresh. So then I don't even feel the anxiety. I don't feel the dread. It's the only thing. I wake up in the morning, take my dog out, make some kind of weird tea that my wife has me drinking, and golden broth, and then come in my office and work on that for 2 hours. If I do it on a Sunday, then I will carve out the time, and I do it like little bits, right? Like, so if I really don't want to do it, it's like, let me just open the form. Let me just get last week's lesson plans out so that I can see where I ended. Let me just divide up the number of pages that I have to read this week, or put a topic for each day. Let me just find 4 cool journal entries. So I like baby step things a lot of times. And I don't know, that always has helped me. It's or I'll say things like yesterday, I had all these emails in my inbox, and I probably only had 40 in there, but they were a lot of heavy lifting. It was like a lot of long emails to send back to people. So I set a timer on my phone. I'm going to set a timer for 20 minutes, and I'm going to go work on emails. And then I went and vacuumed, and then I came back and did emails, and then for set amount of time. And then I went and threw the ball to my dog out back. And then I came in, and then so it's like chunking that time too. And I find that when I whittle it down, I get to a point where I'm like, dude, I'm just going to finish this. Like, I just am at a point where like, okay, we're good. And I can just finish it.
Yeah. I like to use the term micro stepping instead of baby stepping.
Why? Is
that a little mini? I don't know.
Is that insulting to children?
No, I don't think so. I don't think babies would be insulted. I'm just, just saying.
People get insulted a lot. It's 2026. You know what I mean? I feel like babies being like, listen, we're tired of this.
They might.
You say acting like a baby. All this, like they're gonna get.
So many negative. Things.
See it.
Yeah. Linda, I don't know about you, but I was saying this morning that like both Marley and I are procrastinators, but we both thrive under pressure of procrastination. So like we get to the point where like, no, it's like the deadline hits, but that's where I work best. That's not always a good trait though either. And because I've learned that like, I just see it with my own daughter, like she'll put off homework and wait all the way. She's probably doing homework right now, or she should be. She's probably procrastinating and not doing it, but she waits all weekend, but then that fills her with anxiety, and then she's not getting the rest that she needs. So for me, it's like, do it on the front end so the rest of your weekend feels free and relaxing and rejuvenating. So kind of whatever works best for you, but you have to kind of know yourself to figure that out too.
Yep.
Okay, Chris Carson is up next asking, CJ, what are you reading of the spiritual genre at this point? Do you have a favorite that you've read in the past?
So the Bible's my number one. I'm reading through Psalms now. I think when Brody came home the other day, the processing, right? And the dyslexia. Yo, Dad, we read Palms today in school.
No, he didn't. I missed that one.
Palms. And yeah, it was, but he like quoted it pretty well. Other than that, Chris, and I mean, because that could be, I mean, Psalms is either like it's like lifts you up, or it's like, man, this sucks and it's horrible. So I read like Psalm 51 the other day, which is like right after David like lays with Bathsheba and like kills her husband and stuff like that, and he's like lamenting and like praying to God for forgiveness. And I was like, man, this is like some heavy stuff at 5 o'clock in the morning. So other stuff that I've been checking out actually is not Christian, but it's still filling that bucket for me because it's allowing me to think. I'm always trying to connect the secular world and my Christian viewpoint. So The Almanac of Naval Ravikant I've been reading. That was sent to me by someone on YouTube. And I really love that. There was another one. Been reading a lot about hospitality. So I've been reading Be Our Guest, which is by a former high up executive from Disney. And there was another one. I'm going to forget what it was, Chris.
What about your Joy book?
The Joy book I'm rereading again. It's just called Joy, and I'm rereading that slowly. And like that book's going to take me a year probably to finish because I'm going through it so slowly. I'm looking up every person that's mentioned. I'm underlining stuff. Like that book that's the best book I read last year. The most impactful book that I read last year. And then Founders Podcast. So newsletter comes out tomorrow. One of the things I mentioned there is Kevin Kelly was mentioned. There was an episode on the Founders Podcast about him, and it's called Excellent Advice for Living, and it is excellent advice for living. So yeah,
who would have thought?
Yeah. So that's where I'm at right now.
All right. Well, we don't have any more questions.
Cool. Well, we're at about an hour anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So look, if you need resources, new resource up on shopteacherclassoff.com, which is Langston Hughes's. Thank you, ma'am. And then there's all other stuff on there as well. And
or if you have a certain resource that you would love, like for us to make, like let us know.
Yeah, let me know. And if it's in my wheelhouse and something I've worked on, like I'll be sure to make it.
Don't ask us to make a science resource. Sorry.
Not yet. My goal would be to.
Well, we're not going to make them. Have other great teachers that.
Make them and then we sell them on our site eventually is what I'm thinking of. Folks that don't want to navigate TPT and all that sort of madness or give away half their money because they're on TPT. So yeah. But with that, anything else?
Nope, that's it. Have a great week, everybody. Stay warm.
I'm going to be in Kansas this week. Speaking, if your school is looking for a speaker between now and even the beginning of next year, you can hit me up. I'll give you all the stuff that you need. I'll get in touch with your principal, all that kind of stuff. Even if you don't think that they have the money, let's figure it out anyway, because, it's important. So here's the QR code to have me come speak at your school. And that's it, gang. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Bye.